right, good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of Before You Take the Trade. We're about to go ahead and get into it. I am running a little behind, and I do apologize. Let me know we are live over at the community, so that we know we're on here. Um, Been a very interesting day yesterday. Some ups, some downs. Woof. You know what? Let me not go too deep in the weeds. Let's go ahead and get right to the charts. All right, so this is NQ. Let's go ahead and look at it from a daily perspective. I'm going to get rid of the drawing so we can start all the way over. We had a massive drop yesterday. When I say massive, I'm talking about real massive. This level counts as one. We got two, three, four daily levels were basically affected, and then 5 and 6 was penetrated, and it kind of just went right through it. So very interesting spot. I almost want to say this is the last bit of buyers that stepped in and push, do that last minute push. But generally speaking, this downtrend looks like it's starting to have some legs to it, right? So we can go ahead and just draw a trend line down here. If we break this, then we of course will test this area. And right now we are looking at this angle basically holding. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go over to oil. This was based on the 1 hour. Let me come over to the 1 hour. So you remember how we kind of broke out of this area here? Looks like it really held until roughly about 6 o'clock this morning, and they're trying to get back through that order block. I'm gonna get rid of these lines for right now. This area right here is tough because of the angle that this is all built on. If we come back to the daily, that's this rejection point right here. So if we can't get past this level here, I can see oil continue back to the downside, treating this as the order block that I think it is. Gold kind of had a nice little recovery. They did close as an engulfing, so it's a very bit of a surprise on the angle that it is starting to push up from here. If we go over to the 1 hour though, I kind of noticed this. I was noticing that right here around 11 a.m. when they did that reversal, this is the trend that they're on. It's a little choppy, right? Don't it just look like they're trying to get up there versus it's just smoothly going? Like this one right here, you could kind of see it was going. You had these impulsive moves. Are they accumulating, or is it more so this is going to give us that dwarf star movement? Now, again, we did get to 2,700. Could they be really looking for 2,800, which would bring us all the way back up to here and then some? Maybe, but we'll see. This is silver, and like I said, still chart out silver. Look at what it's doing. I thought they were going to come for this fair value gap and come down here. That would have really put some pressure on gold, but they bounced it. Very similar to what you saw over in gold, right? Kind of look like similar charts. But what I like about drawing out silver is that it seems more natural of a movement than gold does. I feel like gold gets a lot of manipulation and fluctuation here. So we got a nice little uptrend that's here, and then we got deviation and an uptrend here. These are the areas that I want to kind of like test when it comes down to here. So we'll see what happens, especially that it's exhausted on the stochastic. It can pull back. Here's the British pound. British pound, again, I was looking for that head and shoulders. They really started taking it, and then that happened. We didn't get all of the fair value gap. Could this be that bounce that they need so that way they can just power right through it? That's a possibility. That is a strong possibility. So we'll see what happens on that regard. The next one is ES. You can kind of see ES is getting into that level. I know they want that 6,000 level. I do know that that's what they're aiming for. But this kind of reminds me of when we were chasing 5,000 back in 2021, 22. And it just gave you the opportunities to think that it's going there. And then I think we stopped like at 4995 or 4998, somewhere around there. And it just stopped there and it just reversed and it went to some real deep lows. So I'm curious on how this was. Was this the pullback that was necessary so we can start this march all the way back up here? We'll find out on the dollar. Here is the Russell. The Russell, it looks like they're starting to get back inside of that order block again. I thought we was going to close below here and then test this order block. That didn't happen. Looks like they're using the 50 EMA as support, and this could be the propelling factor that's needed. I did draw this line in the event that it did bounce up through this angle, but when we started really penetrating it, I was like, yeah, we're probably going to really dump, but you can kind of see we're trying to fight to get back above this trend line. If we do, we might come for this fair value gap and really take off. And here is the dollar, the infamous dollar. Oh, no, it's not. That's NQ. Normally the dollar's there. All right, so here is the dollar, right? The dollar, I was like, why is my drawing so different? So we had a nice little retracement. Looks like we were trying to get back into this 50%. Looks like they didn't let that happen. Dollar needs to cool down. If this never breaks below 103, 795, somewhere around this area, we're probably going to spring right back up and it's going to make the market drop. I think the real rejection that they're looking for is somewhere around here. So which level of support are they going to take? Roughly here? Are they going to use this as an order block? Are they going to get above this order block? Or is this wick action that happened here when we didn't finish these fair value gaps? Are they the ones that's causing all the problems? Whatever the reason is, the dollar is showing a little bit of a sign of a pullback, which is not natural and healthy. The MACD just came through the zero line on the daily, so a nice little retracement, maybe like a curl over around the 0.25, 0.26, somewhere around here on the MACD, maybe. That would be probably a choice situation to kind of get it up there. All right, now that we kind of did a nice little recap of what's going on in the market, if you have not been on my floor before, I'm a very simple person. I trade the NQ. I like the NQ. It's a very volatile and it can move really, really fast too. But generally speaking, we are playing the open range breakout. How does that work? It's a very common trades tactic or strategy, very simple, but it's very objective driven, so that way it can kind of help you build your trading strategies more complex ways. But we're looking for the first 15 minutes to establish its highs and lows, and whichever direction that it actually break out of is the direction that we're going to take when we get a close of the 5-minute candle above or below that level. So that kind of gives us our direction and our bias on how we're going to trade. And then we have another strategy that I operate with, which is my proprietary indicator, which is the 45-minute of a market dominance. If it shows me that, I am looking for the reversal. So there's just a couple of things that we're looking for. Let me see, I want to say on the 10th of November, I'm gonna pick a date. On the 10th of November, I am going to do something a little bit new. I've been playing around with a whole bunch of strategies, and I'm going to do a only get funded type of thing, which is going to be still our trading floor, but I'm going to have like a little caveat or something that kind of carves out only for funded opportunities. Because someone requested it, they're like, well, you don't talk about a lot about funding and everything else. Because at the end, I want everybody to kind of develop themselves, but I'm gonna do something special to kind of see how everybody reacts to it. So look out for that. Somewhere between the first week of November, I think November 10th was the date that I kind of chose to do that. That's a Thursday, and it's like the last day of that trading cycle. Give me 1 second. So yeah, I'm thinking November 10th because November 10th is a perfectly good opportunity because it's the last day of my trading floor, and then we could just focus on, all right, let's get this account funded and what to look forward to. So set your date. I'm gonna make it a special event. You're gonna, if you follow and subscribe to me, you'll see it pop up, and then just click on it so it can give you a reminder or a bell for that. All right, so we got like 2 minutes left. Let me go ahead and log into everything that I need. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me get out of this so I can. I didn't know I logged in there. I was supposed to log in paper over here. Let's get that right. Okay, that one's paper. And then I can put the chart back. There we go. And get myself logged in down here. Yeah, it was supposed to be a knife entry. Yeah, that's the one. All right, so that is set. Let me get off a replay. I was testing some other stuff. Done with that. Remove that. Get rid of all the drawings. All right, so that's that. That's that. Oh, actually, get rid of all these drawings again. Let's see something. Interesting. Came back to the 618 as far as all this movement plus that. Got less than a minute. I gotta do my other ones. I gotta do my Thinkorswim. Same. It's the same as everything. So now that I have that set, oh, actually I gotta get E-Trade. Oh. Oops, wrong one. Wrong password. You know how you put a password in, just like the first instinct, you're like, wait, you just clicked the wrong doggone thing. That's what just happened just now. All right, boom, and boom. All right, so that's here to this side. All right, looks like market is open. Oh, that means, wait. Ow, I think it's swimming. I was like, where's my bell? Because it was an alert bell. I put in the wrong password in that one. Moving too fast. All right, looking good so far. Let's come over to the 5 minute to get a sense of what's going on with NQ. Yeah, it looks like this trend here started going flat, right? So let's grab this. So this was part of the reversal of yesterday, and each time you make a higher highs, boom, 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 and then this is your higher low right here that created that higher high, and we're starting to pull back into it. Yeah, that one shot up. I got a Tesla equivalent that went completely bananas. If they are intelligent over there, they should be preparing to hedge, knowing how Tesla moves. I'll explain what I mean in a little bit. Actually, you know, we gotta wait for this anyways. Let me just put these levels here, and I'll explain what I mean by that. All right, so I'll be bearish below this number, and I'll be bullish below this number. I mean, above this number, right? So that's what I'm looking for, generally speaking, when we do in our opening range breakout. My 45 minute is probably going to do something epic. I won't be surprised because I do anticipate some type of pullback, and you see we're starting to trigger what could be a reversal in this case here. So whatever the 15 minute closes, and if it does something very strong, I'm going to probably think of playing a reversal to the upside and actually playing range for the first time in a very long time. But I'm very confident that whatever pullback that happens here, they're going to attempt. It's a couple ticks to the opposite direction. What did I say as far as hedging? So I'm in a stock that kind of, you know, is income driven using Tesla. So we can agree, right? Tesla is, it tends to do this type of stuff. Here's Tesla's earnings here, bang, dropped, missed earnings on the EPS side by 15%. So people just start selling off, right? As soon as the overnight kicked in, they started their day here. But what usually happens, you get these pullbacks into these spaces, and now we're getting this pullback into this space. Here's Tesla again, boom, had a nice little pop off of this, even though it's bad, right? But might have been some type of guidance. The first thing that happens in the day, usually some type of pullback. Here's another, boom, it extended, but then some type of pullback. This one was a little bit shallow. So y'all kind of follow the theme, right? Boom. Try to do a pullback. It looked like grab liquidity. It wasn't until roughly here they started really pulling back into the area. So off of theory, right? If this income-driven ticker does what I think it's going to do, it's going to look at the profits and the proceeds, and they're like, okay, we're going to hedge it accordingly in the event that this actually pulls down. And though Tesla does look like it's going to take off, we can look at the daily, we can look at the weekly. Weekly is still in a bullish state overall. The 4 hour is probably going to be a little overheated. Yeah, you see, kind of hot over here. Might get a little bit of a pullback and get new supporters to push it in. These are the things that I'm kind of keying off on. So this one particular ticker, it is, I'm anticipating almost the same action to happen here. Though, I do think Tesla is going to take off and continue, but I'm looking for this one right here to kind of protect themselves. And we're only going to go in one direction. But we'll see. We will see. Anyways, let me get back over to NQ. All right, the first 15 minute kind of is established. Let's go ahead and be a little bit more pointed and accurate here. So our low here is 23.1175, and our high here is 23.76 and 25 cents. Boom. All right, so that's a little bit more accurate, and then we'll come back to that. Let's go ahead and check out some stuff. Tesla been going off on my alerts over there. What do I want to cover? All right, let's go with this. A couple of things I was paying attention on, like Procter & Gamble here, right? Procter & Gamble, I was looking at this one. It looks like it's really starting to really compress here. A good company, and when you have these good companies, they tend to really survive a little bit better, right? So I think what's happening here, people are starting to take their profits. New investors are coming in, and they're trying to take their position. I'm looking for this thing to maybe test that 166. If it does, I think that's the lowest point it'll ever get to. Then it's going to finally get out of this wedge. We are in the second deviation of this trend line, so a lot can happen. But the goal is, I think that this is a very long-term type of play. It has been going in this trajectory since 2022, and looks good. Looks good. Wells Fargo, most banks is just pretty much taking off, and I kind of was keeping an eye on this one because I feel like there's going to be some type of flush action here, especially after this earnings. So I want this to actually come back down and come to this level. We'll see if it ever does that because they are really pushing this. Another one is, let's go with Datadog. Datadog is good. Now, the reason why Datadog is kind of sideways, again, I've explained this before. Here's CrowdStrike's chart. CrowdStrike is still in damage control. They got lawsuits, everything else. I do think there's one more leg lower on CrowdStrike, especially going into earnings. You could only imagine what they're going to say about their debacle with Microsoft and the disabling of the airport. So very, very, very interested on CrowdStrike. I'm like 15% sure that this trend line right here is probably going to hold like this, and this thing is going to go ahead and retest some areas down here because I think CrowdStrike's mistake is probably going to really, really key off on a lot of investors. This one right here is my alert to let me know, hey, probably going to start playing out this basically bearish divergence. So I'm looking for that to kind of take off. We'll see. Might just continue up. I might be completely wrong. But that $300 level looks like it's having trouble really, really holding. So if that's the case, that action could make Datadog, just as a space, start to fall as well. But Datadog is probably going to be a little bit more healthier. So I think that this trend line is going to hold, and Datadog being a more sound investment, you probably get an action like this and then take off. So keep an eye on that one. All right, let's go back to NQ. See what's going on there. We'll come back to some more list of things I'm looking at. It's starting to bounce it here. Probably give ourselves a little bit of a spring. Now, here's the funny thing. When you get that 50 and a 200 EMA start to kind of get real close, it could cross at any given time. But I'm leaning that this cross would not happen. And what will happen is probably going to be a little bit of an expansion to the downside as these people start to take their profits. But I may be wrong. We'll see. We will see. All right, let's go check out on gold and oil. Oil's trying to push back up. They did have oil inventories yesterday, so a lot of this drop is probably based on that coming down all the way down to this level. But let me see. This was 3 a.m. coming into today. Our oil inventory was the drop here. Damn, they liquidated folks here. Wow. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. I want to see what they do with that. And then here's our gold. Looks a little tired. Looks a lot balanced. I would say if gold is going to really take off, then that means it needs to get up here again and show me some strength of support probably around this level above that 750 2750 level. If we can get that, gold probably take off. What you got going on, dollar? You still falling? Yeah, that order block is going to be tough for it. It's going to be real tough. And we got a little bit of a kick here. I won't be surprised that the dollar bounces right back up over here. That's general. We'll see. All right, let's go over to NQ. See what the first 10 minutes really looked like. Kind of like a hammer. Could this be the catalyst to kind of take off and just continue to the upside here? Got 5 minutes left on this candle. Stoke is really looking like it wants to push up. But we're in a bearish state on the 5 minutes, so I'm not a fan of that. We'll see. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about some levels on the Qs. So if you are taking options, the Qs operate a certain type of way. So yesterday I did say 487. If you did take that, you were... Now, I end up getting stop out of those 487s. I did kind of try not to scalp it, but it was just too good to be true on how much momentum that was pulling back. I thought any one of those would have been a pullback, and it wasn't. So I did take about 30% or so, but it did get to my target, so that thing would have printed like 500%. So if you did take that put at up to 687, I'm sorry, 487, you should have been sitting really, really lovely and that part as far as breaking out. But if we kind of take this as a whole, what is our target here? What should we aim for? I would say, if anything, back to the 687. I'm sorry, 480. I keep on saying 6. What's with me? 487 over here. And then on the upside, again, back to the 500. So there's two theses here, right? Could this just be a bounce and then we finally take off to the 500 and really put some pressure on the all-time highs? Or do we actually start to fall because whatever push up is just temporarily, and this downward trend is really operating like this downward trends angle, and this is the fight that we're going to be facing. Let me make this a little cleaner. Let's come to the 1 hour with the pre-market. What I'm stating is you have these downtrends, and you already know downtrends, the institutions have the best prices usually, right? It's when we pile in, we start to really affect price. And you can kind of see this is the angle that we're on right now. So as we are coming down on this level here, you can kind of see if this gap fill fails, and then they start to fill in and take out some of the fair value gaps, that means we're going to be back under this trend line and then putting pressure on 485. That's the question mark I have. So I want to see this kind of break below this level to kind of give me an idea. But I don't know. It looks bullish. I think the more healthier move in itself would have been boom, boom, down. And since we're here, get something like a this and then down. So whatever happens here might not really pan out, but we'll see. Let's go back over to NQ. All right, here is NQ. NQ looks like it wants to give up its lunch. My 45 minutes still looks tempting in that regard for reversal. I'm probably going to go lightweight on this one, like super, super lightweight, because I don't like ranges. Never did, never will. But I may just do a quick old scalp to that upside. Alright, they failed to really break that low. Ooh, it's starting to mess with my trigger. I got like 60 seconds on this candle. It might set it off too early for me to feel comfortable, but I might. It showed it, but then now they're pushing it beforehand. Now 40 seconds needed to close with some strength. And what I'm thinking is that whatever is being bought up now is going to be short-lived. And they might take the recent buy-side liquidity in that regard. But following the rules, there is no trade. Yeah, we're just gonna have to let it go. Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it be. All right, so we've got our established high and low. I do think that it's going to push up based on what I saw flashing off my 45-minute, but no, we're not gonna pull the trigger on that. So let me go ahead and set this up on my options. So 485 is the real number, but 47 will be the cute number to go with. I'm gonna go with the 47 on Q's. Save that order, and then on the upside again, that $500 level. Oh, that thing is going so cheap. Let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's go with this would be 485. No, 497. 497. Yeesh. Yeah, 497. So okay, so you can see what I'm at, right? Like it was flirting with this, but they didn't take off or really take off. So I'm thinking that they're going to try to snatch the buy side liquidity because, and you see how it's kind of dropping now because the buyers did not have enough strength. I think they got in too early, me personally. All right, so again, our 5-minute candle coming in. And I think that 5-minute candle is doing its job. If we can get a break below and close, we can consolidate, and then we'll probably find ourselves a nice little entry to the downside. Patience, folks. Don't force anything. That's the most important part. We got 3 minutes left here. I'll go ahead and take a peek at my list again. Let's go with Pepsi here. So Pepsi had a nice little tear recently. Nice little pop here from October 8th all the way to the upside. But if you look at July, it has been really trying to get out of this wedge. But this leg here was very interesting. If we could get a nice little break of this wedge, we probably could get a nice little extension out into 183. That could be a nice little play. Over at the red list, had a couple of things in here. Pizza's getting his butt whooped. What should we look at? Pen W. Pen W had a beatdown recently. I think it was towards earnings. They were trying to reposition themselves or whatever. But I don't know. I don't like the fact that it's pulling back up with a nice little gap here. Let me come to the 1 hour so you can see what I mean. If you look at the 1 hour, there's this space right here. So if this fails to get above 366, I can see this thing just really start to come back down again. So let's see what happens with Pan W. Let's go back to NQ. Got like 2 minutes left, probably a little less than that. About 1 minute and 42 seconds. All right, so they try to take out that low. Look at that nice little bounce. Let's see if we can get a close below. Come on, baby. Hold that bad boy. All right, so this is my official trade set up in a little bit. If we get ourselves nothing too crazy, just hold around here. Don't take off too hard now. Do not. Wait for me. All right, we got 60 seconds here. I think they came to try to bounce the 300 level. Look like that's failing. But if I can get a nice little close below, I'll be starting to look for my entry to the downside. Let me get my puts ready. $30 seconds. You're trying to buy the dip. 18 seconds. Let's make sure we really see what we're looking for. It looks like buy the dip is failing. Kind of got jabbed a little bit on that one. Okay, because it really showed me an opportunity. Yeah, it really showed me an opportunity, but they're still buying up the dip here. I think they noticed the new 5 minutes, so they're trying to get some of the sell side liquidity here off the close. See if it holds this one here. There we go. All right. Okay. That was I gave it a second shot. I'm gonna give it one more shot at this because you can see that they're really trying to push back inside of this area. I am a little hesitant that this is going to hold, but it's starting to really build a base off of this action. Yeah, that's that. Let's see the 1 minute. 1 minute's kind of put in a bullish divergence. That's probably what's putting that pressure there. 5 minutes still bearish to me, but it's in that lower register, the stochastic. You can kind of see that right there. Yeah, they really kind of flipped this a little bit. I'm a little uncomfortable trying to short this, especially being back above the level here. So roughly cost me like about 800 bucks. I'm gonna wait and see. I don't think this is a true turn up to the upside here. I think they're just sweeping the sea, especially that we bounced off the 300 level. Kind of tweeze about them in that area itself. Give it a shot here. Alright. Yeah, still pushing this bad boy up. Alright, so I'm gonna scrap that idea. It's looks like they are going to really try to engulf this side, turn it into an inside bar. Probably want to go to the upside over here, which kind of goes a little bit against my 45. So we'll see what happens. Patience, folks, patience. Yeah, staying inside of that range of chop. Oh, gave it 3 shots. Looking at this as a deep pullback, knowing that we're going to break through the range. So we're going to wait at this point. Still kind of bullish here. Yeah, I may wait for a reset and then play it to the bullish side. Didn't take no option contracts because we didn't break through and hold. It did not get to a low. Let me see. On the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, it's still putting in that bullish divergence. So we could come up to probably like the 50 EMA, like 351, somewhere around there. All right, let's see where they turn this around. Yeah, they still haven't turned that around there either. Extra choppy. I hope we don't have an inside day. I know we had like quite a bit of price action in itself, but an inside day would be very annoying today. Yeah, you see how they're playing right inside of this area itself. Like it's not strong enough to take off, not weak enough to just drop. So we may get that choppy action, which would suck. And that's what a lot of these inside days end up being like. I'm looking at Pan W now. Might be the reason why we're pushing up a little bit. And it look like UNH is starting to push up a little bit more too. All right, it's almost 10 o'clock. nothing to play here. Oh my god. You would think that after Tesla earnings, there'll be a little bit more profit taken, but I guess they're not. Ooh. See how that 10 o'clock candle just came in? Yeesh. I don't think we had any news at 10. Hold on, let me see something. Make sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, there was more new home sales? Hold on, I thought we had new home sales yesterday. There is new home sale and it's bullish for the dollar, and there's a Fed speaking at 9:45. Global PMI. That's playing a part. All this saying bullish for the dollar. Every one of these things are saying bullish for the dollar. Rejected right at the VWAP on the daily session VWAP. Very interesting. Patience, folks. Let's see if we can get the opening range breakout on the upside here. Mm-hmm. New home sales. I guess I was a little earlier on that upside the first time. See if we can get a break above. All right, here's our break above. Now I just need that 5-minute to hold that. Are you gonna break above it? If they were gonna do like a push up to try to get back above and hold that area that I need for that opening range breakout, it would have to be here, or this thing can do some funky stuff like that. that's what and that was what I was afraid of, that they were gonna do some funky stuff. Hopefully you was not inside of a trade trying to play this up on that. Look at that was massive. That was massive. And like I said, everything that's on the news today was bearish for the dollar. I mean, bullish for the dollar. Yeah, yeah, it was a nice drop. Violent. It's trying to break down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it's probably gonna be an inside date. I'm thinking the daily was going to make an extension to that downside. That's what I thought was going to happen without any hesitation. But these buy ups of these dips is just violent. You see how it's just jerky. I'll show you on a lower time frame to kind of like point it out for y'all. But they're just buying it up each and every time. It's like the market is looking for the buy side liquidity, but there's new buyers coming in, putting pressure on the sell side liquidity, and you get these wicks. You see how these wicks are looking. I think if this 5 minute gives out this low, this thing may never come back. This is the way the movement is happening. It's like more sellers are stepping in when it starts to get up there. Here's a 1 minute chart. See, they stepped in and bought all that up, but they didn't go anywhere. So how are you as a buyer thinking about it? Well, you know what? I'll just keep buying up the lows. So roughly around that 324. I feel like there might be a block there, an order block, and the sellers are just literally drilling slam, boom, slam, boom, and they keep on slamming it, and it's making the lower highs, putting pressure on these buyers. Like, hey, guess what? There's no room for you up here. So are they going to get the buy side liquidity, or is it going to go ahead and all those sellers are getting out the way? That's the big question. Because I wanted to get back to this and retest here because we rejected off of here so hard. See how that 1 minute? Now we got doji here, more indecision. Embolden the buyers here, or is it trapping the buyers here? Yeah, embolden them. So that nice little doji right at the bottom of the stoke. Nice little reversal, push up, come back into the 50. Where are the sellers sitting? Where are they waiting? It might push right through up in here because we didn't really make an extension to the downside. Starting to put pressure on the buyers with this upward angle. All right, let me come back over to the 5 minute. Here's that attempt as they try to maintain this level from here to here. Yeah, it says this is consolidation. I will wrap it at 10:15 because there's no real trade. I turned this positive 300 after being down as much as almost 2 grand on this, and it's a rough market right now. Let me maximize this. I can put this on P&L. Y'all can see it if it did its job. So that would be this. Oh, nope, wrong one. So roughly right here, like $372. Yeah, after like destroying myself on yesterday's price action, that's where it is. So right now we're just gonna go ahead and just put our, get our popcorn, kick our feet up, accept the market for what it is, and just be patient. I think it's gonna break out of one of these ranges or one of these levels. It's either this top side or here, but we'll see. I might do it here. You see how it's kind of like building, and now they're taking out these sellers. Above 350. If this 5 minutes stays above the 350, maybe consider playing this more to the upside. I think this is accumulation to take out this fair value gap. That would be my target. Give it another minute or so. Let it cool down a little bit because I think it's going to end up closing above the 350. So it's trying. It's trying to give it up. Getting back to that 350. Ooh, that's that chop. Got 44 seconds on this 5 minute. Look, it's still found a way to bounce it up. Seconds. He's still trying to get under that 350 level. Yep. No. Mm-mm. They're making that thing difficult. All right. Well, that said, since we are here, I'm gonna go ahead and bid y'all fun farewell. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. Just be smart. Be careful. Um, I don't see. I didn't see a trade. I didn't see one here with the opening range breakout. We're still inside of it. My 45 minutes just dojis. There's no real impact candle to try to play. The daily I knew could have been pushing up, but this wick here really made that push up happen early. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Yeah, nah. No, 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 no. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. See, they're trying to get that back up there. I can see this staying choppy. So that said, let me go ahead and let y'all have the rest of y'all day. I want to say thank you for being a subscriber and also liking the video. Go ahead and share it to friends and family. Today was just not one of those days. We're gonna have to just let it slide, let it go, and maybe it happens later on in the day. So set your alert above 2376. It might be on the bullish side. On the bearish side, anything below 311.75, that would be the trade. Until then, see y'all next week. Mindset is on Saturday at 10 a.m. Have a great day.